guys, so this is Time Soldiers. It's one of those 8-way rotary joystick games that SNK and Konami and all of them were bringing out for a little bit. It's a pretty nice example. I think Heavy Barrel is probably the most remembered of them, but they made a few of them, and they're pretty nice. They all play very similar though, so that was most people kind of confuse them with each other. I think I'm about to hop in. Oh. Thank you. Bottom of the 9. So honestly, finding a nice example of that game, it's probably a $200 overpay, but like I said in that last video, we're already here, we've got the trucker, we've got staff here to load it and everything. So if we can throw games into that, like I'm never gonna regret paying $600 for that game. But at the same time, a lot of the people who are here to buy one or two, they'll get kind of upset that, you know, there's an arcade here overpaying, but it's kind of the weird nature of the beast. I think there's probably 250 games here. We're gonna end up buying like 10 or 15. So it's kind of exaggerated that we buy every single game. I think one of the big things is that we bid on most everything because there's a lot of value here that's on some of these games that might not be there for other people. What always happens at these auctions is you'll have these massive games that are pretty much out of service, and they'll end up going for $1 or for free, and it's really just whoever wants to haul it off because it costs far more in like the dump fees than it's worth in terms of an arcade anymore. So we have a mocap boxing here that they couldn't even give away. It's the first thing I think they had to pass. All right, so Jack the Giant Killer is a pretty rare game, cinematronics. Total failure of a game, so it's now become quite rare. This one's supposed to be complete, but I think the odds of anyone being able to do... Nah. I think the odds of being able to... No! Please no! Yeah, no, I see that over there. While he's doing the weather report. So the thing is, it's actually probably worth $300, $400 even untested complete, but the odds of being able to get it working and even if you do, like, it's not a great game, it just really has historical value and is interesting that it exists. So I hope to see it go up and be very expensive, but we're not really going to we're not going to be bidding on it. What's up? All right, guys. So pinballs are traditionally some of the highest dollar items that are ever in the auctions. We've got a Shadow over there, pretty rare, pretty popular, still sought out by collectors. Bad theme, but really great pinball. We've got a Williams Firepower here that's playing pretty well earlier. A really goofy Gottlieb Spring Break that would be awesome to add to the collection, but we were checking it over. We're not really sure that the game's working at all, so we'll see. But you've got all sorts of things. A Data East Torpedo with a double layer screen, or a double layer back glass. Valley Midway Motor Dome. Lots of really cool things that probably aren't quite either the quality or the in the condition right now that we'd try to put at free play, but obviously the Shadow, we'll be watching that auction, maybe getting involved. And this Gottlieb Spring Break, I don't know, we've been buying all the Gottlieb Palm Tree games, the Hollywood Heats, the Spring Breaks, so we love them, and we've been doing some custom fabrication on the sound systems to try to kind of replace some of the cheesy sounds with some that might improve the game. So we've been putting all that work in, so if we're able to grab another one that's the same model, same series, we might go for it. We'll see.
Now 5, now 6, 35.06, 35.06, I'm over here. 35.06, 35.06.
So that's probably the top.
I'm over here.
And I think that I'm either buying it from the seller or...
If you guys are done, I'm done.
But yeah, that's about my top. I'm pretty happy with that price.
Now 7.
I was happy with my price.
Now 8.
That's for real my top.
No, I said sold. $3,700, 151. Thank you, Corey.
So yeah, bought me for extra 200. Might have got me good. Might have been the owner that got me.
$151.
But ultimately, top level pinball that we don't have. $200 isn't gonna stand in our way.
Maybe that should be 300.
I'm really excited about this spring break pinball, just because we have Hollywood Heat, we're reskinning right now. We've been working really hard to get the kind of tech together to reskin these pinballs in ways that haven't been done before. My big concern right now is that spring break is the last working pinball here at the auction. There's some broken ones behind it, so any home user that came here that just really wanted a pinball, and the spring break seems to be working pretty well, might overpay for it and go beyond where we can. So I'm trying not to show it any love or any attention right now, because I was playing it earlier and I was having a lot of fun, and I might not be the only one that's as excited about it. So I'm hoping it goes sub 1,000. I'm hoping we're able to squeeze like maybe 900, maybe go 1,000. If it goes anywhere into the mid-thousands, we'll have to jump right out. So I'm hopeful everyone spent their money, no one has anything left, and we can pick this up, because it would look really, really nice next to our Hollywood Heat that we're turning into a Denton Heat.
That's a very reasonable pinball, 6 1/4. Now 50, 620 minus 650, 620 minus 650. Now 75, 650, 75, 650, 75, 650, 75, 650, 75. 650 minus 7, 650 minus 7, 650 minus 7, 700, 725, 700, 725. 725, now 750. Now 750, now 75. Now 8. Now 25. I've been 800, 825, 800, 825. Corey, I got you at 8. Look at that girl.
I really don't want to bid anymore, so I'm trying to walk away. I'm going to wait and see if anything happens.
875, 875, 875, now 925, 925, 925. Corey, this is your game. Take it home.
All right, so.
Is that for your personal game room?
Yeah. I don't know.
I laugh every time we sell a game.
But so that was about what I wanted to pay, but you could tell that there was about 13, 14 interested people that really wanted to buy it, and I wanted to act like I was way overpaying. Now 900 is probably what it's worth, but I wanted to make it look like I was like really frustrated having to pay that, so we didn't get into a bidding war. And it kind of worked. I feel like it probably should have sold for 800, but we have a very specific goal for this game, so otherwise it's definitely one of the worst solid-state pinballs, at least in theming, that were ever made. But I think that these Bally's have a lot of untapped potential that we're going to try to extract. All right, guys, we have kind of lined up our units. We're going to do a quick walkthrough. I get so like in the heat of the battle, sometimes I forget everything I buy, so it's a lot of fun afterwards to get them all lined up and go through them. All right, so we have the Time Soldiers. It's got the 8-way joystick. The 8-way spinning joystick, really cool. We don't have one on the floor. It's a pretty good example. The monitor looked nice. To the extent we're ever going to get one, this is a great one to have. Oh, this was the Meta Fox. I have never seen this cabinet. I didn't recognize it, and I haven't seen the game. Looked up the PCB, pretty rare. The game was playing pretty nice. It's just one of those things where the parts are just a great acquisition for our collection. Who knows if we'll ever get to use them? Who knows how we'll use them? Maybe end up putting this in a candy cab. It's a nice old shooter. We'll see. Right next to it, just a beautiful Space Chaser. If you watched last auction, you could see how crushed I was not to get one. Probably based on that number. We got it working. Beautiful example here this auction. Got it for only $13.25. Really great deal. Really happy with it. Next to a Hydro Thunder. I went through this earlier, guys. Hydro Thunder is one of the most popular games we have. It's one of the better racers that came out of those early 2000s, late 90s, and it just it's always a hit wherever we put it. Was a great example. Happy to pick it up. Jambo Safari, kind of an embarrassing Naomi game. That's a personal love of mine. It's really, really goofy. We have the stand-up Naomi Crazy Taxi out of Denton, and it's been doing really well. Maybe we'll sit this out next to it. I don't know. It's a really fun game. I really like it. I have no idea what our plan is for it, but I've kicked myself the last few times I haven't bought it, and this is my favorite example of it. And right behind it, we've got our Street Fighter 2 CE in a Dynamo cut corner with just a really great monitor. With our hardcore Super Turbo community, it's become kind of requested that we get some kind of a other Street Fighter 2 in, maybe CE, maybe Hyper Fighting. So this one will probably end up rebuilding the control panel, probably doing some ground up rebuild on most of the components, but the monitor was in great shape. The wood on it's really solid. So hopefully we get this out of free play soon and kind of free up that Super Turbo so that you can the casuals can have their Street Fighter 2, and the hardcore scene can focus on that, because it's definitely been requested. Next to a Tournament Cyberball, it was in pretty good shape. Monitor had some collapse, but it did have the original joysticks. I think I paid probably $200 too much on it. We got it for $1,300, but we've been trying to desperately get one of the 4 or 5 Tournament Cyberballs we own out. Every time we get one out, something goes wrong. So more parts means a higher percentage chance that we can actually keep one out and get one out. Our seat to our Hydro Thunder. And here we'll go all the way around. All right, guys, this really nice Asteroids that I've been saying this a lot lately. I think it's one of the perfect games. I think for the technology that existed at the time and the way they used the black and white vector, it is absolutely perfect. It plays great. It does really, really well at all of our arcades, despite being, you know, a 1978, 1979 black and white vector game. I think every aspect of it is about as perfect as it could be. So we've been making sure that we have enough Asteroids to put out as many as possible in the world, one at each arcade at least. And then we got it next to our track and field. I was actually targeting the Hyper Sports, but the track and field ended up going for much less and was in much better condition. It's the same game, so track and field even has better name recognition, so really happy to be able to pick it up. Vector Star Wars 6100, wood was in good shape. This is just a popular game and it's a lot of fun to have out, so took the opportunity to buy it. I thought the price was pretty reasonable, and I guess I think long term we're going to see these prices on these Star Wars go just absolutely through the roof. Good short game, really great for a barcade, really great for just, I mean, any arcade ever. Then we have our recently rebuilt, playing really nice Centipede. I just thought it was a good price, good chance to pick one up. I talked to the guy who owned it. He'd had it in his house for a long time. He had the board, he sent the board off, had probably spent almost as much as we paid for it having it rebuilt. And so any Centipede is a good Centipede. And it's another similar story next to this Galaga. I talked last podcast. Galagas are one of our highest earning games, and it's really, really cool to see on our Arcade Anywhere project where we put out coin play games. Galaga outcompetes just about everything we can throw at it. And when we have a game that's this old and this awesome that we can put out and people really play it and love it, we'll keep buying them. All original, really nice. This was that Xenophobe that we had brought in prior to the auction. Really happy with the purchase. It's something that we've owned in various forms over the years, but never had a complete one. Just wasn't lucky enough to come into one, and here it is. Hopefully get this out at a free play floor pretty soon. Also, not in this line, still over at the where we purchased them. We've got the Shadow Pinball, one of the best of all time, and I think that that's a great example. I'm really excited to get that on the floor. I feel like in a lot of ways we've been seeing too many modern brand new pinballs come out, whereas, you know, there's these great hits that just don't seem to be getting put out at the arcades, the barcades across the country. So something like the Shadow, really excited to be able to put it out. It was playing great, it's just wonderful. Then we bought that absolutely ridiculous Gottlieb Spring Break. We've got some plans. We've been reprogramming these. It'll go next to our Hollywood Heat that we're turning into our Denton Heat. Long term, I'm not exactly sure, but you know, I played it and I actually think the playing was underrated. So with the ability to reskin those and reprogram them, I hope someday we get to use it. And then the last game we bought was that Moon Alien Nichibitsu Cocktail. If you heard me last time, there are all sorts of cocktails that I buy that never make it to the free play floor. One day we're just gonna do a big event and put every cocktail out, but that's it, that's this auction, and I'm really excited with what we bought.